Hi, welcome to the Physionic Dedicated Podcast. My name is Nicholas Verhoeven. I am a PhD student in molecular medicine, have a master's in exercise physiology. Formalities out of the way, today I wanted to briefly discuss kind of a cool thing that's happening in science related to pacemakers. If you know somebody with a pacemaker, really those individuals come in a variety of different ranges. But usually it's applied to people a little bit older or people with heart conditions. Well, there's new research and probably going to be in the next few years some clinical outcomes from this that are really, really interesting. So, just to frame this, to set this up, a pacemaker is essentially just a battery operated system that allows your heart to beat in a sinus rhythm, meaning a normal rhythm. And typically people with arrhythmias, a variety of different arrhythmias, have these pacemakers because they allow the pacemaker to take control for the heart and tell it when to beat. And an arrhythmia would be kind of an asynchronous or not normal beating heart. So we then do surgery, put the pacemaker in, and then it beats or tells the heart when to beat, and it beats normally. But the problem with pacemakers is that eventually the batteries die out, and then you have to have surgery to either remove the pacemaker. I'm assuming that's what they do. I'm not a clinician by any means, but I'm assuming they take out the pacemaker or they have to replace the battery just by itself. But I'm assuming they just take out the pacemaker, and then they just put a new one in, and you're good to go for many years after that. But that's a bit of an issue. That's a bit of a risk, obviously, because you're going through surgery and it's related to the heart. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. So these engineers, these bioengineers from Dartmouth College came up with a system by which your heart can actually regenerate the battery of the pacemaker. So then you've got a circular system between the pacemaker helping the heart and the heart helping the pacemaker. So the pacemaker is going to pace, quote unquote, the heart, and the heart would normally pace at what's called the sinoatrial node. And instead, what it's going to end up doing is the pacemaker is going to make that initial electrical signal occur, and that signal is then going to move down what's called the bundle of His and across the Bachmann bundles and then into the Purkinje fibers. And if you want to look this up, if you want to actually look at the anatomy, then you can see the Purkinje fibers line the ventricles of the heart, which allows for that contraction of the heart. So that would be a normal contraction that's going to occur. And what's really nice about that is when those ventricles contract, you're having movement, of course. I mean, you think of the lub-dub sound when you have the heart. You have this contraction of the heart. That lub-dub actually comes from the valves themselves, but it's still an indication of the heart moving. And when you think of a heart beating, it is moving. So what these engineers have figured out a way of doing, and what hopefully is going to end up becoming clinical, something that we can use from now on. Instead of going through surgery and removing the battery, we can have a self-charging system where the pacemaker will help the heart, and the heart will then, through its kinetics, through the actual movement of that heart every time it contracts, you see this recharge of the pacemaker, and then again the pacemaker is going to help the heart. So it's just continuous, on and on and on for, well, I guess you could say eternity, but in all reality we know that the heart will eventually stop because, well, we die. A morbid thought, but technically true. So the heart would then be the limiting factor and not the pacemaker, which is a really cool invention. It's a really nice way of capturing energy that's being lost. So the movement of the heart is, well, that energy is being lost, right? The breakage of ATP, the bonds, the release of heat, the actual movement, the contraction itself, inotropy. You're losing that. So with this pacemaker, not only are you capturing that, you're able to create this kind of longer standing pacemaker that wouldn't require surgery down the road. So I thought I'd share that. I thought it was really cool, kind of a neat way of using, capturing, essentially just using an already built-in system, a biological system, and just capturing that energy and capturing that just the overall function of that system so that it works even better than it normally would just through human ingenuity. All right, well, hopefully you found it as interesting as I did. I will link the article if you're interested in reading it down below in the description box, and I will hopefully have the pleasure of speaking with you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye.